Wade through running rivers, wander through forests, pedal alongside a pristine coastline. These are tastes of what you'll get when you go exploring in northern Hokkaido. Community holds a great amount of importance. It's one of the things that people in blue zones, or regions of the world where people live much longer than average, hold as a key to living a long and happy life. Today, you'll meet people who embody culture, connectivity, and sustainability, and who are creating a connected community culture among visitors, welcoming them as extended family when they arrive in the north of Hokkaido. While exploring this area, you'll dive deep into the culture by seeing firsthand the sustainability efforts that are being enacted across Hokkaido through different ways locals have adapted to living off the land. And of course, experiencing diverse adventures from the rivers, waves, and currents that connect the islands to one another. The locals and the communities you'll meet are doing their part in living off the land and also creating products sustainably from nature's riches. Throughout the journey, we'll meet a few locals and experience trying our own hand at various activities while immersing ourselves in the local culture. Land to sea, let's get this adventure started. The adventure begins in Shimokawa town, known as a forest future city. It's a place where locals earn abundant income by living off the land, and also one where they can have fun while also nourishing their soul while being surrounded by trees. Shimokawa is aiming for self-sufficiency with renewable energy centered around their forest biomass, delivering heating and hot water to 30 locations, including government offices, schools, and town-run hot spring facilities. NAYORO River is the main river running through town. The stream of the river is peaceful and calming. Through the warm sunlight and autumn breeze, we'll see different species of birds and plants while discovering the history of the local people's culture and lifestyle. After a quick safety briefing, we're ready to head off walking up the river today.
この町の自然ですね、人工的な森だったりだとか、天然林だったりだとかっていうのが結構混在してるんですよね。ですので動物の居場所とかもはっきりしてますし、人間と自然の融和っていうものがすごく見れる町になってるかなと思います。よく海外の方が日本の川を見ると、これは川ではない滝だっていう風に言うと思うんですけども、その滝だって言われるような場所を僕らは歩いて登っていきます。ぜひ日本の川っていうもののその急峻さや厳しさっていうものも一緒に味わうことができますし、川の流れ方とかも結構上から下に流れているだけではなくって、複雑にちっちゃい川をたくさん流れているので、そういうのも海外の方にはぜひ見てほしいなというふうに思います。
You can't help but also play and get a little wet under the falls. Out of the water, we're doing a whole different type of bathing now. Forest bathing. Basking in the forest originated here in Japan. It's like nature therapy. Forests are often called the lungs of the earth. They take in all the CO2 and breathe out oxygen. A place with many trees is a place where we can breathe. And the trees we stand beneath, they breathe life into us too. Wander and weave your way through the forest as you allow your body to take you where it wants. Spend time reflecting in the forest with peace and calmness of mind. Now that we've hit the reset button, it's time to learn about how nature provides us with everything we need. Next, we're going to learn how to make essential oils. That starts with getting the main ingredient ourselves. We're pruning some of the Sakahlin fir branches now. Though the forest industry repurposes the branches and leaves of the Sakahlin tree to make fertilizer, they had a vision to make more effective use of them by extracting their beautiful aroma while also contributing to the efforts of zero emissions. To make essential oil from the Sakahlin fir tree branches, We begin by filling the distiller with the leaves that have been torn from the branches. We pour in some water and heat them to a simmer. It's a pleasurable sensation when the aroma begins to drift by your nose as it boils. The aroma component of the gasified tree leaves is slowly extracted as distilled water and essential oil. As it cools, a slightly whitish fragrant liquid begins to accumulate in the glass container, and a layer of essential oil becomes visible on the surface. Once this occurs, it's time to separate the two liquids, and then you have essential oil. The scent of the oil is as deep and lush as the forest itself. An aroma that is capable of bringing you directly back to bathing in the trees.
And now, you have a tangible way to take home the sensation of that experience through something you made with the guide of Fupu no Mori help.
Our next stop is the Nishiokope village, where you will meet a deer hunter who practices sustainable hunting. There is a harmonious coexistence here between the people and the animals. The lands where she hunts have been blessed by nature's bounty. There is a profound sacredness around what gives its life and how it can be used and honored in the process. The leather maker makes beautiful uses of all the parts of the deer. She teaches travelers her ways in a co-creative workshop. The material used is deer skin she has tanned herself, and of course, no part will be wasted.
なんか動物の命とかも亡くなっちゃった後のことまでずっと考えて、なるべくお金も時間もかかるけれども人間の力でその動物の命を最後までなんか大切にしようっていう考えが普段の生活ではなかなか知らなかったし、ただ牛の命をいただいてるなとかで、ヨガを普段やってるから命をいただくなって感謝をしていただいてるのはあったけれども、この皮がどうだったんだろうとか、内臓はどこに行くのとかで、このバッグは牛の皮で終わってたけれども、その牛の皮鹿の皮一つ取るにもこれだけの時間とそう皆さんの大切な時間が使われてるんだなと思うので、なんか普段の生活でも全然なんかこれからの捉え方が変わるような、気がしました。
Originally, when I came to Hokkaido, I wasn't sure about how long I would be here. I'm a city person, so I was a little bit nervous to move here originally. Plus, it never snows in Texas, and so I wasn't sure if I could get used to living in Hokkaido. But living in northern Hokkaido is incredible. It's beautiful, the people are wonderful, and it's a very good, like a really great place to live. So I'm really happy I'm here. About 70 years ago, there was the Toyamaru typhoon in Hokkaido. It was incredibly big, and there was even some like boats that sunk off the coast in the area. But this area was really impacted by the winds, and most of the mountains around here lost all of their trees in the winds, and most of them were knocked down. So starting from there is really when the forestry industry began in this area. All of the mountains were replanted at that time, and from there there's been a lot of emphasis on taking care of the mountains and making sure they're properly forested. In tourism, if the money and the people who come to an area aren't actually interacting with any of the local people or impacting the local economy, I don't think there is much point in tourism. So I think SDGs, the Sustainable Development Goals, are very important for investing in the local community and taking care of the environment as we interact with it.
The Ainu people, indigenous to the region, practice a modest lifestyle as a means to abundance. They honor the interconnectedness of all living beings, just as the deer hunter we met earlier.
数百年前のまでのアイヌの暮らしは狩猟採集漁労が中心だったんですね。ということは、自然の恵みに生かされている。でその自然っていうのは魂が宿るカムイという日本語にすると神様のようなものですね。そういったものが宿っている。だから常に感謝をしてお祈りを捧げながら自然の中から恵みをいただき生かされているって考えます。で、だからこそ なんですかね、取りすぎたらいけないとか、それは今生きる自分たちのためだけではなくて、自分たちの子供や孫の世代まで豊かに暮らしていけるように物を取りすぎない、自分たちが必要な分だけを取っていくっていう考え方ですね。アイヌの昔ながらの暮らしっていうのは現在してる人はほとんどいないんですよね。でそれは周りの環境も変わったし、時代の流れの中で様々なものを禁止されてきたっていう経緯もあります。ただ昔ながらのね、アイヌの暮らしが取り戻せたら、この先この地球も人々の暮らしも長く長く続いていくものだと思います。でそれにはやはり常に自分たちが、今あるものに感謝していく、これが大事だと思います。で自分たちは生かされている、守られているんだから、自分たちも周りのものを大切にするっていう気持ちを持ち続けられたらいいんだろうと思います。
We are invited inside a local Ainu museum for a hands-on experience and understanding about the history behind their culture. The KAWAMURA KANETO AYNU Memorial Museum is hand-built from natural wood, and we see some of their beautiful carving work before even stepping foot inside. Upon entering, your eyes wander around the room as you admire the thousands of items in their collection. One of the favorites for adventure travelers is seeing the hand-carved wooden canoes, which we'll hop into later. There is also traditional amip clothing made from inner bark. Even the swords were handcrafted from wood sourced from the local forest. Let's watch part of a traditional performance now, unique to the Ainu culture. In this performance, the Ainu woman will sing, while the Ainu man performs a traditional sword dance. After the performance, we try on some of the traditional and very comfortable Ainu clothing ourselves, which is a visceral immersion into daily life. Learning some of the dancing and sword skills is an even deeper cultural immersion. Singing and dancing is a beautiful way the Ainu people honor their culture.
What an incredible experience to be able to partake in as a traveler in these parts of Hokkaido, one that will stick with us for years to come.
Now, we're walking into the fiery, smoky room to try and play the mukuri, the traditional hand-carved jaw harp. It's actually not that easy to play and requires some skill as a beginner. But it's kind of like riding a bike. Once you've got it, you won't forget it. We finish our tour with a unique paper cutting experience. We're at Toshiya now. Remember those beautifully crafted canoes by the Ainu in front of the museum? That's what we're taking out on the water, and going out with a guide who made these very canoes we're canoeing in today. Toshiya River is a Class A river and the largest, northernmost river in Japan. Its typically smooth, flat, and calm waters create a peaceful ride down. We can see tree roots entangled along the edge of the water and their sweeping branches of green leaves reaching up to the sky for sunlight. We've reached WAKKANAI, the northernmost city in Japan.
This North Hokkaido area is one of the best cycling destinations in Japan, and so beautiful scenery and good road and no traffics, and for safety cycling, and so many good food, delicious food, seafood and beef and something, and also hot spring. I think one of the best cycling destinations in Japan.
Let's ride.
We're cycling along Cape Soya, the northernmost point of Hokkaido.
Enjoy the flat and smooth ride along the coast with a coastal summer breeze to keep us cool. The roads here are perfect. They look like they were just paved last week. We're passing a wind farm now. They're turning at full speed today. These are used to power Cape Soya, which is famous for a strong wind. This is the biggest wind farm in Japan, with 57 wind turbines, providing about 60% of nearby WAKKANAI city's power.
Cycle the coast, taking in the vast openness with a peek at the islands you will adventure out to next. RISHIRI-REBUN-SAROBETSU National Park
spans 2 islands north of mainland Hokkaido. You'll find little fishing villages and also rural settlements here. It is the northernmost national park in Japan, boasting a diverse landscape of mountains, flower fields, sea cliffs, wetlands, and even coastal sand dunes. Rebun Island and Rishiri Island are known for their unique and adventurous terrain from the coastlines to the mountaintops. Let's explore Rebun Island first. Rebun Island is nicknamed Floating Flower Garden. Japanese flower lovers flock to this island each June to admire the rare alpine flowers that show up in the lower altitudes. The road along the coastline is beautiful to drive or cycle. Not too many visitors come to this remote area, which makes for a laid-back adventure getaway, including swimming in the crystal-clear sea. Some of the beaches are covered with rocks smothered by tides and time, while others are covered with shells. The shore is a great place to stay all day and enjoy the sunset. Watching the sun go down slowly on the rolling sea creates a serene ending to our day.
The MOMOIWA Trail is one of the most popular and also easily accessible on Rebun Island. The trailhead is within walking distance from the ferry terminal. Great for day trip adventurers looking for a taste of island life. The trail extends from Kafuka in the southern part of Rebun Island through MOMOIWA Observatory to Shiretoko.
This morning we're going hiking on the MOMOIWA hiking trail. In June you can see loads of alpine flowers and plants along the way, and it's a really nice hike to get out and about, and you can head up to the peak and it's going to be a great day. It's really pretty, the sun is shining, so yeah, let's do it.
The trail reaches all the way out of the southern tip of the island.
While riding along the rugged coastline, you can also see the twin island of Rishiri-Fuji, rising out of the sea just 19 kilometers in the distance.
Without many trees around, we have views throughout our entire hike along the well-carved-out dirt trail we're walking on. Along this journey, there are parts where it drops straight off and exposes the ocean below, where you can really feel the volcanic landscape. The Ainu word SUKOTON translates to a boy in a large valley in English, describing Japan's most northern limit cape. This is a great place to relax, lay down and listen to the crashing waves while the wind howls in the near distance.
Behind me, we've just found a seal, and he's massive. I'm so excited that we found a seal because, I mean, Rebun Island is amazing in itself, but this is just another thing to add to the spectacle of sights there is to see here.
As we ferry from island to island, we experience the vastly different landscapes, as Rishiri Island is literally an island volcano.
From stepping off the ferry, you can instantly recognize this is a nature lover's paradise.
Rishiri Island is also a cyclist haven.
Some parts of the paths were once built with the purpose of acting as emergency tsunami evacuation routes, which is why they are so wide.
Journeying down the path, we are able to take full view of Mount Rishiri. We cross a boardwalk down through the OTATOMARI swamp. From the ideal terrain to the stunning views, the road is perfect for cyclists. We stop for a quick refreshing MILPIS drink that can only be found on Rishiri Island. The recipe and manufacturing method of MILPIS is a family secret. It has milk, sugar, lactic acid, citric acid, and spices. We make our way off the marked path to find fresh spring water to drink only a few steps away. Now we're at HIMENUMA. On land, we'll walk for about 4 hours in the native conifer forest at the foot of Mount Rishiri-Fuji onto the famous HIMENUMA, a little mere lake which reflects the figure of Rishiri-Fuji on its surface. Mount Rishiri is also called Rishiri-Fuji because of its similarity to Mount Fuji.
We're walking through the landscape and see the mere lake that has a reflection of the mountain. As we look into the reflection of the water, we reflect on our day's adventures.
この利尻島は、もちろん島だから海はあるんですけども、その島の真ん中に高い山があって、そんな島ってないと思うんですよね。だからもう冬は雪山で遊んだり、夏は海で遊んだり、本当遊びがたくさんある島で、僕がガイドになろうと思ったきっかけもやっぱり利尻で遊ぶのが好きなっていうことなんですよね。で、なんとか自分の好きなことを仕事にできないかとか、この楽しさを教えたいとか、同じ楽しさを共有したいとか。だからシーカヤックで最初普通のカヤックやってたんですけど、釣り始めたらめちゃめちゃこれ楽しいじゃんっていう、そういういかにしてその遊びを開拓するかっていうか、そういうのでどんどんメニューが増えていった感じなんですよね。だから本当海も山も両方ですけども、楽しいこといっぱい探してます。常に探してます。はい、そうですね。僕の今まで人生の中でいろんな選択肢が今まで何回もあったんですけど、どれも間違ってなかったなって思うのが一つと、僕も今年52歳なので、そんな残りまだ何十年も生きますけど、とりあえず死ぬまではこの利尻で、いろんな遊びをしながら、本当忙しいんですよ。夏も忙しいんですけど、ちょっとした合間で釣りに行ったりとか、プライベートでですね、あと冬の暇な時期は休んだりとか、うまくこの島のリズムと合わせながらやっていきたいなと思って。
The ocean life around Rishiri is rich in diversity as well as in volume, so we won't need to go far offshore to catch fish.
Whoa!
Come on, come on! What do I do?
Oh! Oh!
One last meal as we enjoy fresh sea fish. We're having dinner at Guest House 1721.
On tonight's menu, grilled atka mackerel, called chanchan yaki in Japanese. It's a speciality of Rishiri Island.
Because atka loses its freshness very quickly, this is local cuisine that can be found only on this island.
This is beautiful.
We've given you a real taste of northern Hokkaido today. From the smallest islands surrounded by the big blue sea to the deepest of the forests in the center of town, northern Hokkaido truly has it all.
The environment is untarnished, it's pristine, it's protected, and the outdoor activities are amazing here. It all complements each other. You go from activity to relaxing to eating great food. It's the all-in-one package, basically.
We hope you'll come back soon and bring some of your own community with you.